Greetings, Beth Warriors. Greetings. Greg is back. So are you. Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses channel. We on the road. We road tripping in my favorite place in the whole wide world. Yes, you might have guessed it, Colorado. And I want you to look at that sign right there. It says Serenity. I'm staying on the river cabin here in Colorado. I'm gonna do some plunging today, some cold water, some hot water. Grandfather sun is just rising over those big mountains. We got big mountains up here in Colorado. I couldn't have slept any better with this river singing its melody to me throughout the entire evening. And yet, it's interesting that I got the cabin Serenity. Means calm, peaceful, untroubled. I love that part about it the most. Untroubled. What are you troubled by? Because if you are troubled by something, it would be advantageous of you to really put some focus and energy into the root cause of your troubles. Is the root cause of your troubles external to yourself? That's something that I've had to learn along this journey called life. I used to think my troubles were out there, right? And if I could just fix my problems and, find the right person or get the right job, it would fix my problems, right? Get the right job, be told that I'm good enough, have someone validate me, someone see me and believe in me and care about me and nurture me and make food for me and do all these things for me, right? Everything outside. That somehow, if all that stuff finally came together, then my life would be perfect and everything would be so hunky-dory. And guess what I've learned? That's not where the solutions to my problems lie. The troubles that I have are within. And this applies to all of us. The troubles that we have in this world, I'm going to move right here. I love catching that morning sun. It's just coming up over the mountains. It's peaceful, man. It's peaceful out here. And there's beauty in time in nature, close proximity to nature, live water, whether it's a river, a creek, an ocean, a lake, a stream. If you got troubles, being in nature will not solve your problems, but I will tell you this, it will give you some clarity for you to be able to figure out what actions you can take to actually bring about positive change in your life. And it really just starts in your mind. It's so simple, right? You just got to start changing your mindset, changing how you think of things, how you perceive things, how you feel about things. That's probably the biggest one. It's really how you feel, because when you think, it does attach to feeling. Now, what most of us don't recognize is we have subconscious thoughts, premonitions that come up, and they are directly linked to the wounding that we've experienced in this life. And the more and more time that I have spent in nature, which has been tremendous, a tremendous amount of time in nature. Nature itself doesn't heal, but it definitely provides you with an opportunity to disconnect from all the chaos, all the distractions. And even though we live in the day and age like now, where there's Starlinks and satellites and, the technology is there, I usually create just boundaries for myself. I mean, I don't watch TV in general. So to me, even when it's winterish, We got some snow on the ground. It's winterish out here. I opened up the window last night and just put on a little extra blanket so that I could hear that beautiful song being sung by infinite molecules of water, right? The river, we think it's just a river, but every single drop of water, unique unto itself, just like you. It's incredible. And yet, together, collectively, we sing a song. And what I see the song that we are all singing is either one or two things. It's one of these two things. You're either singing a song of fear or you're singing a song of love. And when you're singing a song of fear, that means you are consumed by worry, by doubt, by fear, by guilt, by shame, by sadness, by anger, by hatred. You hate things in this world. You hate the way some things are. You hate the way your life is. You hate the way the government is. You hate the way this is and that is, and you hate stuff. And that's it's like people, we act like, oh, I don't hate nothing, man. That's too extreme. It's like bullshit. We need to be on the extremes to see clearly the truth about ourselves, because we all have this in us. And we have to choose with intention and conscientiousness to no longer sing the songs of hatred in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, and shift to songs of love. And the way that you make that shift is by showing yourself unconditional love, taking care of yourself. And that is going to real self-care, real self-love that's unconditional is going to look radical to those that are still singing songs of fear. They're going to not believe it. They're going to say, that's impossible. You're faking it. And then there's going to be a part of you that's feeling like imposter syndrome. And maybe you're not being so real. Maybe you are just faking it. Maybe you are pretending. And maybe you should just go back to singing those songs of fear. And I'm here to tell you, if you've made it this far in the message, you need to continue down this path and stay locked in. You need to develop practices for yourself that truly fill your cup to overflowing each and every day. And if you're new here to the Results Kill Excuses channel, or if you're a longtime listener, maybe this is just a good check-in, but I have 5 daily principles that keep my cup full to overflowing. And this is an energetic breakdown. How to keep your energy positive. How to keep you aligned with your higher self. How to keep you walking in love, in light, in joy, and in peace versus fear, guilt, shame, anger, apathy. And so number 1 on my list is I start every single day with what I call minding my mornings. Minding my mornings means mindfulness in the mornings. And that consists of a multitude of practices, from just having positive thoughts, listening to positive affirmations, journaling, sun gazing, grounding, breath work, meditation, prayer, all the things that really set my intention for the day, for the moment, for the here and now. That's number one. Number two is I eat my health. So I set an intention that the foods that I am going to consume today are going to be in alignment with me having what I consider optimal health. And that takes discipline. It takes sacrifice. Because what I truly do believe exists in this world is most of us are eating our feelings, which means we're overindulging, which means we are, again, going back to searching for something outside of us, even if it's in the manifestation of food, to make us feel better, right? It's everything we're trying to solve for pain relief, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's food, sex, relationships, money, shopping, gambling, consuming TV, sports, and entertainment. We need something to distract us because we don't feel safe. We don't feel held. We don't feel secure in ourselves. So eating our health. And in full transparency, I've let a real big discipline of myself, which is sweets. I've let it go. And this past summer, man, it was like the highs and the lows, energetic shifts. And it's like I've not been disciplined when it comes to eating my health. And it shows. And yet I saw something yesterday that inspired me, and it inspired me to get radical, right? Because this is what it takes. It takes radical. If you're not ready to be radical and be extreme with your purpose on this planet, then this ain't for you. This journey isn't for you. If you just want to kind of half-ass it and, dabble a little bit here and then still do a little bit of shit over there, it's like, nah, man, it's all in. It's radical. And so I heard something yesterday from an ex-football superstar, and he was talking about his intake of sweets, and that's a big weakness of mine. I created the sweet tooth, which is really, a fake news. It's a hoax, right? The sweet tooth hoax. That's what we hear in the news nowadays. Hoax. It's all hoaxes, right? Sweet tooth is a hoax. But I created it when I got sober. I got really caught up on the sweets. And what I realized along the journey as I started to do the therapy and heal the emotions is that it wasn't that I had a sweet tooth. It was that I had unhealed trauma. And I had, the alcohol had gone away, and I looked for the lesser evil, which was sweets, to just kind of give me a stimulation to make me feel a little better about myself. Because I still hadn't really started to do the heavy emotional lifting. And it resurfaced in the past 6 months. I had my best friend die. I had my dad die. I've been dealing with some health issues. My son's been dealing with some health issues. And just life in general. We're all going through some shit. If you're going through some shit, I'm going through some shit. Welcome to the shit party. It's time to get extreme. It's time to go all in. It's time to quit making excuses about waiting till next year or next month. When I heard this NFL superstar talk about that he used to only eat, especially because of the discipline, right? That he would only eat sweets twice a year. And that was Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that he actually had stopped that he just stopped altogether. And it's like, fuck. I feel challenged. I feel challenged to try and say, okay, we have a new month coming up. I know I've been struggling there, and it's just like a fast, right? Again, it's being extreme. It's saying, I got to cut it off. If it's a problem, I got to cut it off. And no one else is going to do it for me. The trees aren't going to do it for me. The sky, right? My neighbors, my lover. Nobody's going to do it for me. No one's going to do it for you. You got to want it. And so I like that. I don't think that showed up for me by accident. It was like so random. It was, a little bit of scrolling, and that message came through as to his practice. And I was like, shit, all right. And so again, I'm like, I'm going to probably put myself to that challenge because I need, like, it is essential to practice what I preach. And it's like, I haven't fully let it go. I just am not exactly where I like to be. And so I'm visualizing, right? If you're not where you want to be, it takes visualizing. I visualize the number on the scale. And right now I'm like probably 10 pounds to 15 pounds to where I'd really love to be. Feeling sexy, lean, mean, fucking just destruction. Loving myself so much. And it takes some discipline. But I'm visualizing, I'm writing it, I'm affirming it. And then something like that comes up and I say, yeah, you know what? Like, have I had enough sweets? Am I good? Because I remember when I finally overcame my sweet tooth, I used to eat a lot of candy. And it was because I saw something that said, you don't have a sweet tooth, right? That's a hoax. What you have is unhealed trauma. And this is a really uncomfortable subject for a lot of people because we're very body insecure. We're insecure with our physical condition. That's why heart disease is still the number one killer. Cancer is the number one killer. Those two things are both areas that we could take ownership of and actually change the outcome. You can improve your health. You can have preventative medicine. Instead of these illnesses long term, you can shift. And I did it. I've literally completely transformed my life from the inside out. Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. But at number 2, again, recap. I mind my mornings. I eat my health, and then I move my body. It's so important to not just eat healthy, but that comes before the exercise, but to have exercise. And when I say exercise, I'm talking like stage 3 intense cardiovascular exercise. You need something that gets your heart rate up to 120, 130 beats per minute. Light walking is beautiful. I love it. No one loves it more than me. I'm going to go do lots of walking today. I'm going to do lots of soaking, hot water, cold water, all the things. But if you want to really transform your body, your conditioning, you need intense cardiovascular exercise. 3 to 4 times a week is kind of the minimum for about 45 to 60 minutes. But you don't start there. You can start way low. But find something that challenges you, but something that you enjoy. And right now it's the winter. So a lot of people are going to be like, it's too cold and it gets too dark too early. Well, that's why gyms exist. I've been using a stationary elliptical machine right over the past few months, just fucking hammering it. Because my conditioning matters to me. This temple matters. It's a reflection of my decisions. Your body is a reflection of your decisions. Do you realize this? And a lot of us don't even want to deal with the fact that we can't discipline ourselves. And a lot of us will look to saying, oh, it's self-control. It's not about self-control. Focus on having self-mastery, self-love, self-care, caring about yourself so much that you don't pollute yourselves with what you're eating. Pollute yourselves by what you're thinking and dwelling on. Again, minding your mornings, eating your health, moving your body. Number 4 is to learn something new every single day, a lifelong learner. Try new things, learn new things. Get out of your comfort zone. That is real living. That is how you know you are alive, is because you're getting out of your comfort zone. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. It doesn't matter how many times I've been in that cold water. Actually, I have heart in my mind. I can go in this cold ass fucking water right now. And most people are be like, what? I'm like, yes, I'm going to start on cold today. And it's going to feel exhilarating, right? It's almost kind of unbelievable to think that, how do I not die doing that? But it's getting out of that comfort zone so that when the storms of life come, I'm putting myself in extreme situations. I'm choosing pain. I'm choosing suffering conscientiously so that when the storms of life come, they don't fuck me up like they used to. They don't just take me away. I'm like, okay, I can handle this shit. I can stay centered on myself. That doesn't mean I'm a pushover. It means that I'm more clear and concise and courageous to be able to handle everything that life throws at me. And you have that same ability inside of you, but you need to prove it to yourself. Are you ready to start proving your worth, proving what you're truly capable of doing, what you can truly accomplish? Or are you just going to continue to be taken away by all the things going on outside of you, being so overwhelmed by life, acting like you are helpless? And the final thing of my daily principles, the fifth and not the least, but I put it strategically in fifth place because a lot of people will do this first, and I'm going to tell you why it's not beneficial. So the fifth thing is to lend a hand, to go out there and make a difference in this world. Now, there's a lot of people that think taking care of others is taking care of yourself, that it's some kind of a moral high ground that, oh, look at me, I'm such an incredible helper. And it's like, yeah, but if you're not helping yourself, again, managing the first four things, if you don't mind your mornings, if you're not eating your health, if you're not moving your body, if you're not being a lifetime learner, then I can guarantee you, if you're honest with yourself, you are not helping other people from a place of abundance, from a place of unconditional love. You are helping people out of obligation, out of burden, and even out of a sense of unspoken manipulation, where by you doing, you are hoping to receive. And a lot of us are really let down when we do and we don't get back. And that's something I've had to heal in myself, that now when I give out of abundance. I give freely, don't pay it back. That doesn't mean I don't have expectations, right? On relationships. I mentioned this in a previous video. Unhealed people, right? And this is not hate, this is not shame, but when you're dealing with somebody that's unhealed, they're going to be more of a taker. And it's because they're in survival mode. When I was in survival mode, I was a taker. Now that I have moved into greater depths of healing, right? I give, but in the giving, right? It's beautiful when there's reciprocity, because that means I'm aligned with someone else that's healed, that's living conscientiously. But that doesn't mean that when someone doesn't reciprocate, right, that I show them hate. No, it's just a learning lesson for me to ask myself, does this exchange work for me? And that's part of the self-awareness and the self-mastery, is that you're tested to say, hey, are you willing to give, and not get something in return? How does that show up for you? How does that feel for you? I used to do a tremendous amount of volunteer work, humanitarian work, going on natural disasters. And what I realized is that, I kind of felt a sense of pride, like, look at me, and look at all these people I'm with, and we're over here showing up in this hurricane or tornado or flood or fire zone, and we're volunteering and we're here to help. And it's like it was all sincere, it was all genuine. And we did make a positive impact in the lives of the people we touched. However, I had to check my heart, my spirit, my soul, right? As to, was I doing it out of an abundance, or was I doing it to feel better about myself? All while leaving a disaster in my own life unaddressed. And that's major self-reflection work. And I've done it all. And nowadays I show up with people, and it's interesting that I find myself here in Colorado. My heart is here. My heart is in Colorado. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. What an incredible, beautiful place to be right now. And it's interesting because when I'm scrolling and even thinking about the holiday that just passed, Thanksgiving, and usually holidays bring people together. But something that I'm realizing along my healing journey is that, a lot of people that have traditionally been around me, raised me, they do not like who I am in the healed version of myself. And they've made it very clear all along the way, stop doing that. Do you think you're better, and trying to guilt shame you into, do you know who you come from, or you can't change? Like, if you need to ask permission. And thus, because of the changes, I often find myself immersed in nature, in a state of singularity. And that can be hard for a lot of people. Especially you're listening to somebody that from the very beginning of my life experience this time around, there was trauma bonding and codependency with my mother because of the physical, emotional, and just tyrannical abuse that was happening before I even hit the ground. There was already codependency. So I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been needy for connection and feeling like, can I belong somewhere? Can I be accepted? And yet I've had to heal that. And the place that I've had to heal it the most is to sit with myself. So now when ain't nobody reaching out, ain't nobody thinking about a guy that's been divorced now for 6 years. I've got 2 teenage kids. One's in college. One's, almost 17. And family all around. When ain't nobody reach out to call or text and say, hey, what you doing? You want to come over? Right? In the past, it's like I would be like all sad and lonely, maybe just, go get drunk or get high. And instead, and maybe have a pity party. Woe is me. No one loves me. And instead, it's like, wait, that's all right. I send them love. And it's okay that if they just can't, right? When you shift your energy this as much as I have, man, it's hard to hold. It's hard for people that are still living in a state of sleep. And if you understand what I'm saying, you're in the right place, and this is the right time for you to just keep going, keep staying locked in. Because when you start to awaken, the people around you that want to remain asleep, it is what it is, man. And you get to have a choice. Do you want to go back to patterns of self-sacrifice? Do you want to fit yourself into a box that you have outgrown? And again, there's no hate. There's nothing but love here. I choose love. I send love. I send strength. But I no longer need the validation. I no longer need the invitation. And I definitely don't need the invitation for me to go and have an incredible time, to go do what fills my cup. right? The self-care, the self-love, right? Being sovereign, being whole and complete right here, right now. Me and you, I'm here. I'm whole and complete. I'm not lacking anything. There's no attachments. There's no appendages that are missing. This is all I got. And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to realize that's all you got. But when you go through the spiritual awakening and you start to awaken and people around you are still sleeping, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel those growing pains. You're going to feel the resistance. You're going to even have people demand that you stop changing. Stop. Because they do not like it. They want to stay in the shadow. They want to stay in that place. And guess what? It's their choice, but it's also yours. And today I choose me. Today I choose serenity. Free from trouble. Free from trouble. Because I'm going to face the challenges and I'm going to allow myself to extract the maximum enjoyment of this moment right here, right now. And I encourage you to do the same. It can feel lonely, but that's only until the loneliness will only be there until you start to really improve the relationship you have with yourself. The inner child, the adult, the parent, and also all creation. When you expand your connection with all creation, that loneliness starts to wean. That neediness goes away. And you can feel empowered because you will know that any room you walk into, you are the most authentic. You are the brightest light and people will notice. And the right people will want to know what is different about you. And the wrong people, they just fade away. Right? They just fade away. And it's in love. There's love there. And I'm sending you love. I'm sending you strength because I know that there are those of you out there that are on this same path. And yes, it's a challenge. But you are built for the challenges in your life. Face your fears. Don't be overcome by them. Face your fears. Stand in love, in joy, in peace, and in light. Do the things that make you feel alive. Try some new things. Go back into your childhood and think about some of the things you used to love doing by yourself. And go do some of those things. Maybe it's a coloring book. Maybe it's playing an instrument. Whatever it is, go try these things. Sign up for a arts and crafts class in your community, at a local community college. Give yourself permission to live life to the fullest, to live life with intention. Again, one of two choices. You're either going to be singing the songs of fear, or you're going to sing a song of love. And I hope that you have enjoyed today's song from me to you. From my heart to your heart, from my soul to your soul. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. You know the drill. Results kill excuses. Because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.